All right, let's just get right into it. For, I don't know, a decade, the number one rule of social media has been get more followers. Simple, right? Well, what if I told you that rule is now officially dead? Seriously, in 2026, the entire game has changed, and if you're still clinging to that old playbook, well, you're pretty much guaranteeing you'll become invisible. Just look at this. It's wild. On one side, you have an account with only 500 followers and they're hitting 1 million views. On the other, a verified creator over 1 million followers and they can't even crack 100 views. This isn't a mistake. It's not a glitch. This is the new reality. So what is going on here? Why is the algorithm suddenly ignoring huge celebrities and just handing out millions of views to totally random people? Well, this all comes down to what we're going to call the follower fallacy. It's this belief we've all had drilled into us that a bigger follower count means more success. But the data is showing us that it's become nothing more than a vanity metric. Yeah, it feels good to see that big number, but it's not actually doing anything. Okay, so to really get this, we gotta rewind a bit and look at how things used to work. For the longest time, platforms ran on what's called a social graph. Basically, your feed was mostly stuff from people you already followed. In that world, it was simple. More followers meant a bigger network, and a bigger network meant more people saw your stuff. Who you knew was everything. But then, everything changed. Platforms, and let's be honest, TikTok really led the charge here, they figured out there was a much stickier, much more powerful way to show people content. They moved away from the social graph to the interest graph. And the interest graph, it could not care less who you know. It only cares about what you do. It's watching everything. What you watch, what you like, what you share, what you rewatch to build this custom-tailored feed just for you. This is a huge, fundamental shift. It means the best content wins, not just the content from the most famous person. This slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at Instagram. It's kind of stuck in the middle, right? It's a hybrid. Your followers still give you a bit of a base, a little stability, but TikTok, oh man, it's pretty much pure interest graph. Your follower count has almost nothing to do with whether your next video goes viral. The algorithm just tests it with a small group based on their interests, and if that group likes it, boom, it explodes. Doesn't matter if you have 10 followers or 10 million. So the big question is, if followers don't matter, what does? The answer is something called microbehavior. These are all the tiny, subtle signals that you and your community send to the algorithm that prove your content is worth pushing out to more people. This is the new key, and we're going to break down the 3 biggest hacks you need to master it. First up, we're talking about how to actually engineer your visibility instead of just crossing your fingers. Second, we'll get into why story is so much more important than just being popular. And third, we're going to look at the cold, hard data that proves why being small is now a massive, massive advantage. All right, hack number 1, engineer visibility. This is a big one. It's about moving from passively putting content out there to actively coordinating its success. It's about stop hoping the algorithm finds you and start making it find you. Researchers actually have a name for this. It's called algorithmic capital. And you should think of it just like money in the bank. But instead of cash, it's attention. It is your community's measurable, provable ability to work together to get the algorithm on your side. This isn't about luck. It's a real asset you can build. So how do you actually build this stuff? Well, the research points to 3 key tactics. First, you have signaling rituals. Basically, you get your core people, your true fans, to jump on your content with likes, comments, and saves the second it goes live. Then you have visibility packs, things like engagement pods, doing duets, ways to amplify each other. And finally, community backstages. This is where you use DMs or a WhatsApp group to coordinate everything, turning your audience from just viewers into a full-blown distribution team. Okay, on to hack number 2, prioritize narrative. So once you get the algorithm's attention, you have to actually deliver something that holds it. And honestly, the type of content that really works now, it's probably not what you think. So get this. A really fascinating study from 2024 looked into TikTok Live to see what actually drives people to engage and even buy things. They tested all these different factors, like how attractive the streamer was versus how good their story was, and the results were kind of mind-blowing. And here's the kicker. They found that narrative involvement, that's how deeply a viewer gets sucked into the story you're telling, was the #1 predictor of success. And social attraction, you know how good-looking or likable someone was, it had basically no significant effect. 0. It means that even in a 30-second video, the algorithm isn't looking for a model, it's looking for a storyteller.
And that brings us to our last hack. And honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. Leverage the nano advantage. If you've been sitting there worried that your small audience is holding you back, I'm about to tell you why the exact opposite is true.
All right, let's get into the numbers, the hard proof. A huge study from the University of Mannheim that was published in the Journal of Marketing looked at the actual return on investment for influencers of all different sizes.
What did they find? It's a total game changer. Nano influencers, right? The creators with those smaller, super dedicated audiences, they outperformed macro influencers on ROI by an order of magnitude. We're not talking a little bit better. We're talking 10 times the return on investment. Let that sink in for a second. 10 times.
And the researchers explain exactly why this happens. This quote says it all. As your follower count goes up, the actual engagement, the connection between you and your audience, goes down. Basically, the bigger you get, the less connected you are. And it's that tight-knit community engagement that actually drives real-world results.
So, what does this all mean for you? What's the new strategy? It means you have to totally shift your mindset. Your goal is no longer to be a follower collector. Your new goal is to be a community cultivator.
So here it is. This is the new playbook. Stop chasing that follower number. Obsess over your content quality and your storytelling. Start engineering visibility with your real fans. Build that algorithmic capital. And just burn this into your brain. The tiny micro behaviors of a small engaged group are worth so much more than the silent approval of a giant passive audience. And you know what's crazy? This isn't even about working harder. It's the opposite. When you stop that endless soul-crushing grind for more followers and you just focus on the people you already have, you're focusing on what actually works. You're putting your energy into the 20% of the effort that gets you 80% of the results. So, I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. In this new world we're in, we have to rethink everything. So, if your content is your product, then isn't your highly engaged, super supportive community now your unpaid, hyper-effective marketing team? Think about it.